Hello, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. Today we're going to be testing out some new products from the new MAC Teddy Forever collection. So I don't even know that this has officially launched yet, but I went shopping yesterday and found these in store, so I thought I would pick them up and give them a try. So as of right now, I have not found these online anywhere yet. I am located in Canada. I checked the Canadian MAC website and the US MAC website, and they're not on there yet, but I did find them in store yesterday. So this is the new Teddy Forever collection based on the Velvet Teddy lipstick from MAC. So this collection includes two Teddy Takeover eye and face palettes. There's one for light and deep skin tones. There is a retro matte lipstick in Eternal Teddy, a luster glass lipstick in Ready Teddy, a lip gloss in the shade Teddy's Pal, a locked kiss ink in Bonded with Teddy, a lip pencil in Deeply Teddy, one of their Color Excess gel liners in dark brown, a fix and stay over, MAC Stack mascara, brushstroke liner in black, and the Prep and Prime lips. So half of this collection already exists. It's just coming out in the limited edition packaging. So I picked up the lighter of the two eye and face palettes. I picked up the lip liner and the matte lipstick in Eternal Teddy. I did swatch the luster glass lipstick and it's beautiful, but I do prefer the matte formula because they do last a little bit longer. So again, I'm not 100% sure on overall pricing of these products or when they're officially going to be available. I will update you in my community tab once they are widely available, but I will let you know how much I paid for these. So the lipstick and liner were $34 each, which is pretty standard for Canadian pricing. I think that's around $25 US. The Teddy Takeover eye and face palette, I paid $79 for this. So clearly I wasn't paying very good attention yesterday. That is bananas. Hopefully it's worth it. So let's get into the face and eye palette first. So you can tell this looks very, very small. So this is made in the US. You can see the limited edition packaging is really very pretty, and this is the packaging that's on all of the products in the collection. And this is what the palette looks like. So it's just like a hard plastic compact. It has that same detailing on the front, and then this is what the back looks like. So this is made in the US. It does not have the shelf life on here, but there's a little bit of weight to it. Opening this up, you do get a really nice mirror right here, and then you get 4 eyeshadows. If you slide this to the side, you get a highlighter underneath, which is an interesting choice to me. I would have rather had a blush or something like that. I also think it looks a lot like this eyeshadow right here. So let's look at these swatches. So now that I have paid attention to the price point, I'm a little worried. I am really praying this is worth it. I don't think I've ever paid that much, even for one of the larger MAC eyeshadow palettes, the ones they released last year. I think it's like a 12 pan. I think that's only in the $50 range, so $79 is really steep. Let's look at these swatches. So first, this is the first shade. This is really pretty. I would put that one all over the lid for an everyday. This is more of a rosy shade, also very pretty. I do want to just put the reminder out there that MAC shadows don't tend to swatch very well. That one's pretty. And then we have the darkest shade right here. So that's quite a pretty color story. Very simple, of course, but still very pretty. I also wanted to swatch the highlight, which I think is going to be too deep. It does feel a little bit different than the shadows, a little less buttery, but I'm thinking that very first eyeshadow would work well as a highlighter on me personally. Okay, this is what the highlighter looks like. That's going to be way too deep for me to use as a highlight. That's very pretty. It's just not going to work as a highlighter shade on a very light skin tone like mine. Even lighter skin tones, I feel like you'd have to be medium to go for that one as a highlight. It might be a little bit more of a blush topper for me. So let's start with the highlighter shade since there's just one of those. I do already have on blush and bronzer, but I've picked a little bit of this up. I'm going to be very careful with it because it's going to be too deep. And I'm going to place it back a little bit. Yeah, it's way too pigmented. This is going to be more of maybe a blush topper for me. But it's definitely more of like a peachy blush topper. I do have to do the same thing over here, unfortunately. Okay, so you can see the highlight I essentially just used as a blush topper because that is definitely way too deep for me to use. I would say it's a very smooth highlight though. It doesn't have glitter particles in it, so you don't have to worry about that. I haven't tried the MAC powder highlighters, but I have tried the baked highlighters, like Soft and Gentle, and I think that's beautiful, but that one is a lot more sparkly. I'm kind of wanting to add a little bit of this shade right here as a highlight and see. Yeah, that's pretty. That works well for me as a highlight. Yeah, that's a pretty highlight shade. The actual highlight shade is just too deep. Okay, so I think I'm gonna start with my BK Beauty 202, and I think I might start with this rosy shade here. I'm going to start buffing it into the crease, but I might just put it all over the lid. I'm sorry, let me zoom you in so you can see what I'm doing. So mostly focusing on the crease, but this actually is quite a pretty shade. It does have a sheen to it as well, so it could definitely stand on its own. I do think these are a little bit softer than other MAC shadows that I've tried. They do feel a little bit more, I'm getting a little bit more kick up. They do feel a little bit more buttery to the touch, so I don't know if it's a completely different formula. And keep in mind, this shade isn't a matte. It's really more like a satin. It does have a sheen to it. We actually don't get any true mattes in this quad. The brown has, it's kind of like a sequin shade. There are glitters in it, but it looks like if you apply with a brush, they will just blend away. That first shade is obviously more of a satin as well, and the shade right here is pretty shimmery. So that is blended all over the lid. I think it looks fine. The formula seems pretty good as well. I am going to take a little bit of that deep brown sequin shade, and I do want to add this one to that outer corner to add some depth. I would have liked to have gotten some more proper mattes in here, whether this brown, I just don't think this brown needed to be a sequin type shade. It's not an overly obvious sparkle in it, and it's one that kind of blends away when you're blending, but I would have preferred a true matte. We are getting some pretty good depth with that brown though, and the blendability is definitely there as well. Okay, I'm kind of liking how that's coming together now. I think I just need something else on the lid. So I'm gonna go into that first shade right here. I am gonna pick it up with a brush. That's pretty. That gives such a pretty sheen to the lids. So I'm liking it so much more with that really light shade all over the lid. I think that looks really pretty. I am debating on whether I want to add in that other rosy shimmer as well, because I feel like I'll regret it if I do. Okay, I'm just gonna take the tiniest bit of this shimmer here just for the sake of using everything, and I'm just going to lightly pat it on the edges to kind of merge that super light shimmer into that brown. Okay, that does look nice. That does look nice. Just blending around the edges a little bit. Okay, so this is how the look came together. Let me pop on some mascara and I'll come back. We'll get into the lip products and I will share my final thoughts. All right, so here is the final eye look, and I actually really like how it turned out. I have in the past always really enjoyed MAC's eyeshadow formulas, so I'm not surprised that I like these. I don't know if it's my favorite color story ever, but I really do like the formulas. Let me zoom you out and we will get into the lip products. Like I mentioned, there was a lip gloss, one of their lip bonds, 2 bullet lipsticks and a liner. So I picked up the liner and the Retro Matte Lipstick formula. They also have a Luster Gloss lipstick, which I really should have gotten because I'm still thinking about it, and I wish I kind of would have gotten that over the Retro Matte. The Retro Matte is classically a very dry formula. I didn't grab the lip gloss because I find MAC lip glosses to be really sticky and I can't stand that. I have not tried the Bond formula, but the shade was too deep for me, so I didn't grab that either. So I thought these were the best. Let's start with the lip pencil. So it is in the same sort of print packaging, and this is in the shade Deeply Teddy. And MAC lip liners are also classically quite dry, but they are very long wearing. So this is what it looks like. That's really, really pretty. And looking at a quick swatch here, oh, this is going to be a beautiful, it's kind of like a deeper nude, but very, very pretty. Okay, let's put this on. Okay, so this does feel like their classic lip liner formula. It felt maybe a tiny bit creamier, but overall it is their classic formula. So if you don't like how dry it can be, you might want to skip this, but I like it. The dryness does mean that it is very, very budge proof. Okay, let's get into the lipstick. So we have that same print on the box, and I love when I get their limited edition tube lipsticks. So this is what it looks like. I just think it's so beautiful. So, so pretty. And it does have a gold detailing inside. So this does look like a really deep shade, but when you swatch it out, it's not too, it is deeper, but it's not too bad. It's going to match the lip liner perfectly. It is a perfect match for that liner. Again, this is in the shade Eternal Teddy. It does smell like a classic MAC lipstick. I love that scent. It's so nostalgic, and I love MAC lipsticks. I really, really do. This shade is pretty, definitely deeper than I would typically go for. So I do think this is a shade I would reach for a lot more in the fall, just given that it does have that more deeper tone to it. But I still think it's very, very pretty. And even though it is the Retro Matte, it does still feel very, very comfortable on the lips, but it's not going to go anywhere. I do want to look at some quick shade comparisons. I just have 2 that I really want to look at, because when I initially said that it reminded me of a shade I would wear in the fall, I wanted to pull a couple of others. I don't have the original Velvet Teddy lipstick, which is kind of ridiculous. I might have to order it. I know they have a sale on right now, so I might actually just order it. I pulled out 2 other MAC lipstick shades, and they're not nearly as similar as I thought. So we have Eternal Teddy, and then I swatched Viva Glam right here and Twig. Twig is another one that I love, love, love in the winter because it does have that more deep berry tone to it. It's bolder than a regular nude or a pink, but it gives you that bit of red, but it's not too much. So they are quite different. I would say Eternal Teddy leans a little bit more warm, if anything. But here is the final look. The lip products I think are definitely my favorite. Let's talk about this palette. So initially when I saw this coming out, I was pretty excited for it. I really felt like nostalgic MAC products were coming back. I was pretty excited about it. And then seeing it, I was a little disappointed. So it is just a hard plastic compact. It's very pretty. You get the 4 shadows, you slide it over, and you get a highlight. Again, I feel like the highlight was kind of a choice given that they only came out with 2 palettes. I feel like you're not going to get a highlight that covers that many skin tones, and that one does not even work for me. This works better for me as a highlight than the actual highlight in the palette. I think we would have gotten a lot more use out of this if it was a blush, because a blush can cover so many more skin tones than a highlight can. I just don't think the highlight made the most sense in here. I think the eyeshadows are beautiful. They are the typical MAC formula, very easy to blend, easy to work with, a little bit softer. There's not quite as much pizzazz in these shades, but I do think they are very pretty. I think this is a really pretty actual everyday look. As it was initially going on, I wasn't loving it so much, but then the final result I'm really happy with, and I actually really like, and it was very easy to achieve. So the formulas are great. Do I think it's worth it? No. I don't. I will admit. So yesterday when I was shopping, when I found this in store, it was my birthday. I was shopping. I was just excited. And I saw this collection. I knew it hadn't been out anywhere yet. So I definitely got carried away and grabbed it and made the purchase without thinking. And had I realized it was $79, I would not have purchased this. This is, in my opinion, not worth $79. I think the eyeshadows are really nice and the packaging is cute, but this is not $79 nice. Even in the US for pricing, this is probably going to be, this will convert to about $55. It's still not worth that. I would highly recommend one of their new connecting color palettes that they released last year, whether the smaller ones or the larger one. Those are fantastic. This, you get 4 shades and a highlight that may or may not work for you. Not worth it. Go with one of the connecting color palettes. I know the packaging is cute, but if you're really just after something from this collection for the packaging, go for the lip products. MAC excels with lip products. They always have. Again, this is a retro matte, which means it is their most matte formula, and it still feels very comfortable on the lips. The lip liner, again, definitely a very dry pencil liner. They always have been, but they are absolutely budge proof and fantastic. They will last all day long. These together are a perfectly matched combo. If you don't love a super matte lip, I would go with the Luster Glass lipstick that they released in this collection, because when I swatched it, it was absolutely beautiful and I almost bought it and I kind of regret that I didn't. So if anything, go for the lip products. They did release a lot of their standard core products in this packaging as well, so if you need to replace anything, maybe grab something from there, but I would not grab this palette. I'm sad that I'm disappointed in it because I was really excited for this. I was really excited to see such a fun collection from MAC, but this is just not worth the price point. The lip products are gorgeous though. So there you have it. Again, I don't know when this is officially launching online or in stores. I know in Canada it was in stores yesterday, so just be on the lookout if you're looking to purchase anything from this collection. If there is interest, I would be happy to update you in my community tab when this does become widely available online. But just so you know, if you are looking forward to this collection, I wouldn't be so excited for the face and eye palettes, but if you want to order something from the collection, I would definitely go for the lip products. But that is it for me today. Let me know down below if you were excited about this one. Did you even see this one? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the face and eye palette? I think it's pretty. It's just not $79 pretty. But that is it for me today. Thank you so very much for watching. If you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing before you go. I do upload new videos every single week. Thank you again so very much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!